You said, how would you give the judge notice that you're only going to be appearing as a man or a woman? You're only going to appear in writing.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Somebody had to summons you to appear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as soon as somebody summons you to appear, it's an invitation. When you get an invitation to go to a party, what do you do? RSVP, right? You respond immediately, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you have any questions on how you're supposed to appear at the party, what do?
You refer your questions to the
Okay, if I invited you to go to a party, okay, and you're not sure, is it a wedding party, is it a Halloween party, is it a masquerade party, is it a formal ball banquet party? I just summoned you to appear at some public building, and you have no effing clue what I'm talking about. Okay, you're going to write me a letter and say, who are you and why you want me to appear? And then I'm going to answer you who you are to me and why I want you to appear, right?
Correct.
Get all this court bullshit out of your head, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're invited to appear in a building, okay, at a certain time, a certain place. And you're invited to appear under an apple tree, whatever, at a certain time, a certain place. And you're telling them, who do you believe I am? And they'll say, well, I believe you're a defendant, and I believe that you're a defendant in a traffic matter. It's like, okay, the only problem is I'm a man, and I don't appear in traffic court. Because I have no obligation or duty to any traffic code.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to ask them, who am I to you, and who are you to me, and this is how I'm going to appear, and this is how I'm not going to appear. How do you wish for me to appear? And the guy in Atlanta could tell you, he says that you are commanded to appear as a defendant in this case. Well, I'm not a defendant in this case.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he's not supposed to have the radio going on at the same time because he's got a bad echo going.
Yeah, you got to speak on. Yeah, you got to speak on. It's echoing in the back.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like Larry or Gus, man, you guys got to be able to answer these questions, man. Because, like I said, I'm in and out, man. My phone's down to 2%.
Oh, yeah, but he wanted to, what he said, Carl, was that you and his mother had his mother. You did something for his mother. He wanted to ask a question to you for his mother. That's why that's why we called you back.
Okay, well, I got 2% power on my phone. I got 2% power on my phone. When it dies, man. You guys got to pick it up.
Oh, yeah, we got. Oh, yeah, I mean, we got it now. I mean, but I was just letting him make sure he get his question out to you since he directed it to, because he said his mother had something to deal with you. What you did. You have to.
Carl, this is Natasha's daughter.
Right.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Well, right there, now, Florida, I hope he answered your question. So.
Okay, Carl.
Hey,
I
Carl,
actually have more questions if it be okay to ask them. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Can I ask questions? I was talking to Lovey last night. I can ask questions. It'll probably make it a little easier.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
We found out that the customs in Guyana, the daughter stays living with the parents until she's married. Is that going to help her situation?
Like I said, all I know is that some centralized government is trying to take their property, right?
Yes, sir.
That's all it is. And the whole thing is, you're just saying to them, you're committing a trespass. And you're going after the actual man, whatever the man's name was Bill, whatever his last name was, the commissioner. It was a very simple letter that I told you folks to write to this guy, whatever his name was. It was like Bill Smith, whatever his freaking name was, the commissioner of the family, Mother and Children's Services, whatever, is of Florida. You say, one of your agents, Susie Cupcake, is trespassing on my property. And then he said to file an injunction in the courts, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he said to file an injunction in the court. And what did I tell your mom?
File a claim.
Don't file a damn injunction in the court. What do you think is going to happen when your mom comes for the hearing for the injunction?
I actually don't know.
They're going to put her in jail. They're going to put her in jail. They'll say, "Oh, you want an injunction, like say a restraining order, because the husband's beating you up. You want an injunction, you want a restraining order that these people can't come on your property anymore. You want an injunction? Yeah, sure. Come on down. We'll have an immediate emergency hearing for you. We can hold it right now. Come on down." As soon as your mom comes on down, it's like, "Oh, we're going to do the injunction hearing." Yeah, well, ma'am, you're under arrest. Give us the fucking baby, and you're under arrest, and we'll let you go. And they'll say, "Well, what about the immediate emergency injunction hearing?" They'll say, "Yeah, we'll get to that in 6 months, maybe 6 or 7 years. We'll get to that, but you just give us the baby now." How many times do I tell you people to stop effing listening to these centralized government employees and what they're telling you? Whenever they advise you to do something, how many effing times do I say in the show, guys, you guys should be able to pick this up and run by now because 170 shows, I say you do the complete opposite. If they say to do this, you do that. If they say to do that, you do this. You do completely opposite. That's all. They're not there to benefit you folks.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm not getting mad at you and your mom because I already told you, Mom, don't file an injunction. I said, don't do that. I said, you make a claim to this man that this woman, this mad, crazy dog, dressed as a social worker, keeps tearing up your front door. And you're going to make a claim that you don't feel safe in your house no more. And that you had to move out. And you had to relocate. And you want to be compensated because this crazy mad dog wearing a skirt and pocketbook and a hat matches is driving you effing insane. And you're going to make a claim for damages. And you're going to hand him a hell of a bill. That's what you do. Because the letter that you got from this commissioner guy, the head of the Department of Child Services, whatever it was in Florida, he wrote back to you guys in like 1 day.
Yes,
it didn't take 3 weeks. It didn't take 3 months. He said, go file an injunction. Yeah, that's right. So that way they get their hands on you. When my first wife, when Social Services knocked on my mom's door and her kids were there, my wife said to the Social Service lady, get the hell off my front porch and don't come back without a warrant. And the lady said, we're coming back with the warrant. My wife packed up her 2 kids and said, Carl, if you want to come with us, you got 15 minutes to get in the car and go. So where are you going? She said, North Carolina. I said, well, wait a second. They can't just come in here and take your kids. She said, you know what? You got 14 minutes. And she was just throwing things in her car as fast as she could. It wasn't even funny. And so, well, wait a second. Let's talk about this. Back then I still believed in, like lawyers and crap like that. I said, well, let's get a lawyer and see what he said. She said, you got 13 minutes. She was doing a countdown. It was the 3rd of July. I did not want to leave my house. 4th of July is like my favorite day of the year so I could blow things up and eat barbecue all day. So guess what? On July 4th, I was sitting in North Carolina instead of with my whole entire family on the 4th of July hanging out at my mom's house, blowing up shit and eating barbecue. Because my wife told me how powerful Social Services is. And when they want to take your kid, they're going to take it. They're going to come kicking in the door. They're going to do whatever they want. And there's not a damn thing you can do to stop them. So when they knock on your door, you better get the hell out of there. So you're lucky that you guys are able to get the hell out of there. Now that you got the hell out of there and you're someplace safe, then you file a paper in the work from the court. But you do it from a distance. Where do I file all my paperwork? Not while I was sitting in Alabama. I was sitting in Georgia. Almost for 4 years I was sitting in Georgia, filing paperwork into Alabama. I wasn't crazy enough to stay in Alabama and fight Alabama in Alabama. You guys want to be crazy enough to fight Florida in Florida? God bless you. Because you're in for an ass whooping. If they could find you, you're going to be going down.